When we think about life, we think about land dwelling animals, aquatic animals, and the birds and bats that fly in the great beautiful void that is our sky. These flying animals take to the air and use it for transportation and to catch smaller food like little bugs and stuff mid flight. But they don't truly live in the sky the same way a fish lives in the water. But over the years, a series of sightings could imply large creatures that live in our skies exclusively, resembling jellyfish in appearance. Welcome to Cryptid Corner, the series all things cryptids, and I guess starting today, UFOs, because today we are going to look at atmospheric jellyfish. Atmospheric jellyfish are airborne cryptids that fall under the quite fascinating subset of cryptids that are known as atmospheric beasts. Atmospheric beasts are organisms that are said to live in the upper atmosphere, dwelling amongst the clouds with little need to fall down to Earth. They are also used as alternative explanations for UFO sightings, claiming them to be living creatures as opposed to being extraterrestrial spacecraft. It is a bizarre intercept of cryptozoology and ufology, while also capturing the interests of astrobiology and speculative biology enthusiasts, with them often being used in a lot of spec evo and alien biology series and other projects. It is a subject that instantly captures my fascination from the idea alone, and the artwork for it is just beautiful. Just creatures living amongst the clouds, out of sight from us land lovers. Atmospheric jellyfish are described as being large, translucent creatures that most simply resemble jellyfish or maybe squid, made of clouds or perhaps some type of translucent skin. When seen at night, especially in regions where the northern lights shine bright, and this is also a very common area for these sightings, they will glow with the aurora, light colorations, potentially even implying bioluminescence. And they are also said to glow colors in the sky like blue or red or orange to match the sunset. The atmospheric jellyfish phenomenon has inspired at least one, but probably two fictional creatures. On the SCP side of things, SCP-312 is a Euclid-class SCP that resembles a floating jellyfish that surrounds itself with clouds and remains suspended 50 meters off the ground, although it is capable of lowering itself down. It possesses several eyes within its core, closely resembling human eyes, along with one central orb that appears to be the control hub of the creature. 312 does not need to eat, but it will hunt and eat large prey. And since this is an SCP, its prey of choice is humans. It will lower itself, disguising itself as a fog cloud, until it grasps a human with its long tentacles, stinging them with a very dangerous venom that paralyzes them and then devours them whole. The other creature that I at least believe was influenced by this phenomenon is the Ultra Beast Pokemon Nihilego. I couldn't find anything that confirmed that atmospheric jellyfish were a partial influence for Nihilego, but given its status as an Ultra Beast and its appearance, it is at least a fascinating coincidence if it wasn't inspired from them, and I swear it has to have been inspired from them, man. Or at least, given some of the appearance of space jellyfish and atmospheric jellyfish, the portals could be kind of an influence, but whatever. The earliest known sighting of atmospheric jellyfish dates back to November 17th, 1974, when the Danish military would spot one. The case would not go public until 1979 due to it being the Cold War, fearing that this could have been a Soviet craft or some type of test. On September 20th, 1977, a large number of sightings occurred over the vast range from the Netherlands to Petrozavodsk in Russia. I think I tried so many times to pronounce that, from which the phenomenon gets its name. Several neighboring nations believe the phenomenon to be the result of Soviet testing, while the Soviets themselves looked into this event as much as they could, as they were trying to get to the bottom of the situation themselves, at least officially. On 1985, the first of a series of sightings that would occur over the skies of Belarus, which would be known as the Belarusian sky squid. And the first one would occur over Minsk, being described as a cigar-shaped UFO that resembled a squid or a jellyfish that shined brighter than neighboring clouds. On October 19th, 1998, the most bizarre incident involving an atmospheric jellyfish would occur over a Chinese military flight school in Qingxing, China. The many spectators on the ground would say that it resembled a small star, but as it descended closer to the ground, they began to see bright lights, and they described it as having the shape of a jellyfish. And the little tentacles that dangled down were very bright lights. A jet would be sent in order to intercept the object, but as the pilot approached, it would rise rapidly, avoiding the jet with ease. The jet would run low on fuel, causing the pilot to turn back as the jellyfish disappeared before backup could arrive on time. On December 24th, 1999, the Belarusian sky squid would appear once more as it moved to the northeast over the skies of Belarus, briefly shining blue and red as if it was trying to blend into the sunset. It was reportedly brighter than anything else in the sky, which made it stand out until it would suddenly fade away and vanish, gradually fading off into the sunset, quite literally. On January 20th, 2010, over the skies of Norway, a jellyfish-like object could be seen in the night sky, radiating the same colors as the aurora behind it. On April 12th, 2012, a jellyfish was spotted descending over the clouds near Toronto, Canada. And on June 1st, 2015, a man named Harry Pearton would capture a picture of a jellyfish-shaped UFO over Groningen in the Netherlands while taking pictures for his blog, but thankfully he'd find this, so that managed to spice the blog up quite a bit, I'd say. Now, I hope that we've all had fun with the idea of jellyfish living in the sky, because now it's time for this fun to come to an end. Atmospheric beasts are among some of the easiest cryptids to debunk, as many of them can easily be explained as atmospheric phenomenon, and atmospheric jellyfish are no exception. In fact, space jellyfish are a well-known phenomenon that occurs when gases that are emitted from rockets disperses into the air and spreads apart as sunlight or any type of light from high up starting to reflect off as it spreads, giving it the appearance of a jellyfish forming in the sky. Similar phenomenon can also occur due to meteorites entering the atmosphere and satellites reflecting sunlight, or even the northern lights down to Earth in the upper atmosphere. And these sightings also tend to correlate with satellite and rocket launches, with no known cases regarding atmospheric jellyfish occurring prior to these rockets, satellites, and space traveling, priorities becoming a thing. And I mean, it makes a lot of sense, especially when you think of like all of the Soviet era tests. That's why there was a decent frequency of them towards like the latter end of the Soviet Union and during like the middle, like in the 70s as well. But there is one outlier, and that is the Chinese jellyfish, as space jellyfish from rockets don't tend to start flying around with jets and stuff going in all sorts of different locations. Regarding this story, it does seem like a typical UFO encounter, or some type of mass hysteria type event. I don't know if I believe it personally, but it does seem like a pretty interesting story. So, yeah, this phenomenon seems pretty explainable. But then again, the government did make a lot of these discoveries. And since we are talking about UFOs, I am basically required to say government bad, government lie, and government suppress truth. Or whatever, man. Even though the idea of jellyfish and other large animals living amongst the clouds and swimming amongst the night sky is quite a fascinating one, it is a really easy one to debunk. Now, that is a pretty damn lame conclusion to come to, so I'd figure I'd leave you with a pretty interesting fun fact. Even though we don't have full-on jellyfish living in the sky, there are still thousands of microorganisms, such as aeroplankton, bacteria, and fungi, that have been found living in our planet's atmosphere. So, even though it isn't visible to the naked eye, the cloudy skies are indeed quite the lively place, full of several creatures going about their lives actively in the heavens above. And that's going to do it for the atmospheric jellyfish. Thank you all for watching. I know I kind of abruptly shut down these quite fascinating creatures, but we are starting to delve into UFO territory and we are becoming more detached from, cryptozoology being about just like, creatures that science doesn't recognize. We're getting more into like UFO government cover-up-y territories. So I wanted to kind of, look at this weird phenomenon and, kind of try to apply, the legitimate explanations for it and, not even really try to entertain many atmospheric beasts. I do want to look more into atmospheric beasts because there's got to be some that are real. Rays used to be a very interesting cryptid to me, the ray, but it's even easier to explain. I don't know if you like cryptids that are like that, but I mean, let me know what you thought about it. Let me know what you think about atmospheric beasts. Make sure to comment down below any cryptids if you have any suggestions. I always love reading your comments. Make sure to subscribe if you like this. Ring that bell because there's still going to be plenty more uploads coming. And yeah, that's about it. So see you in the next one. Goodbye.